Good afternoon, everybody. It's a bit late in the day, but I'm assuming there's still some energy left in the room, right? For the next 10, 12 minutes, we'll be talking about. Thank you. For the next 10, 12 minutes, we'll be talking about. Is it better, everybody? Can you hear me? Yeah, great. We'll be talking about customer engagement, and when we talk about customer engagement, what are the effective ways in which D2C brands are actually leveraging it? That's what will be the topic for the next 10, 12 minutes. Starting with the landscape in itself, most of us have seen such reports wherein we know that there are three broad categories in which we can divide the D2C landscape right now. We have the early stage companies, which are the young entrepreneurs who are looking at having their own websites, who are trying to also sell on marketplaces. We have the mid-growth stage companies, which are the likes of Wow Skincare, Boat. I mean, most of us have heard the names there. And the focus there is mostly on moving to offline selling points, increasing the distribution. How do I provide that touch and feel experience for the end user? And there's a slight overlap with that expansion stage. So some of the mid-growth companies are also moving towards the expansion stage wherein they're trying to move international. They're also trying to explore a few subcategories when we talk about the products that they have. Looking at these three categories from a lens of customer engagement, we have looked at three broader trends that we look at, right? We have I mean, it's crucial to provide a seamless digital experience when we talk about buying. And when we say digital experience, be it your website, be it your Instagram ads, be it your, the emails that you're sending out, everything needs to come together. The second piece is how nimble and flexible it is, right? Because, I mean, the business is evolving very, very quickly. You might want to start something new tomorrow. How quickly is your engagement evolving? You cannot wait for a tech guy to make a change in the product to then send out a new engagement or a new message that you want to send out to your end user. So the second piece is how flexible, how nimble you are when you talk about your engagement. And the last piece is, I mean, we've been talking about omni-channel, but one call out there, when we say omni-channel, it shouldn't be how many channels you're on. It's not about, hey, I'm there on email, I'm there on push notifications, I'm there on SMSs. That's not really what solves the challenge for an end user. You need to look at it from your end user's perspective. When you say omni-channel, it needs to come from their side. I mean, I don't want to receive 5 emails. You shouldn't be sending me 5 emails. As simple as that, right? So the third piece, which is omni-channel expansion, you need to understand that it needs to be seen from a lens of an end user, not only from a perspective of a brand, right? And what I've tried to do is that I've put together a few examples. I mean, these are theoretically, we have heard some of these things. We know what omni-channel is, but how are brands actually leveraging that, right? So I've put examples of some of the brands who are using MoEngage, some of the other brands also we've seen who are doing well in this space. And hopefully this will give you some takeaways in terms of inspiration, suggestions, and how you can explore customer engagement. So basically moving on to the brands which are riding well on these trends, I'll start with an example of Wakefit. Right, and Wakefit, we're seeing around 15% higher basket size for them coming in because of the engagement that they're doing. Right, what they're doing essentially is that, I mean, most of us know them or had known them as a sleep solution provider. Their mattresses were quite cool. Their pillows were quite useful. I mean, people are totally in for that product. But when they started moving away to the different products, the different categories, they wanted to move to a home solution provider. What they started doing was that they started seeing what's the correlation between one product, which is a sleep product, to somebody purchasing a home solution. So for example, how many people would likely be buying, somebody who's interested in a pillow, out of them, how many people would be interested in buying, say, a furniture? Or how many people might be interested in buying a bed, right? And when they got that understanding, they started suggesting items to their users. So what they started doing was that if in case I'm buying a mattress, on that screen, can I showcase few examples of the products that I can co-sell? Can I have combos being sold on the final screen when the people are trying to make the payment. Right? And that really helped increase the order value, which increased by around 15% for them. Right? Another example that is quite interesting is Marico. What Marico is looking to do is, obviously they have a product that all of us must have used once in our lifetime for sure. And they wanted to explore the website route. They wanted to explore, can I now start selling on my website? And for them, because they did not have a lot of knowledge, they did not have a lot of understanding of the digital space, it started from even the most basic aspect, which is knowing their end users, right? So knowing where my end user on my website is dropping off, or what's the usual user path that the user takes. I mean, it could be they open the website and then they search, or whether they open the website and then they finally look at one of the products and then they click on it. So developing that understanding before even they went about doing their engagement was one of the things that they focused on. And then they moved on to doing the engagement, which helped them improve the conversions that were coming from their website. I mean, they see around 8% engagement on the website campaigns that they run. And when I say website campaigns, I mean the push notifications that they send on websites, the on-site messages that they send on the website. So that's something which Marico did really well. So the takeaway from the Marico example would be that before you even think of engagement, think about your users. What are they looking at? What are the things that they're interested in? Where are they dropping off in the journey on your application or your website, right? The third example would be of Country Delight. It's a lovely product. I use it, and I mean, their milk and curd quality is quite insane, to be honest. What they have been doing since pandemic is that they have started creating journeys for some of the new users, and that really surged in the pandemic for them. So all the new users who are coming onto their platform, they started creating journeys for these users. When I say journeys, what I mean is that it could be a welcome to my platform to, hey, you've already come to my platform once, twice, you've not made a purchase, so can I nudge them to make a purchase? And everything, again, when I say journeys, all the channels coming in together. So if they're not interacting with my push notifications, they're not interacting with my email, can I then interact with them through an SMS or a WhatsApp message or a Facebook retargeting? If you know that this user has added one of the items in the cart, can I showcase that very item in an Instagram ad as well, right? So that's something which Country Delight did. And one more thing which they did really well was for the subscribers, what they did was they started again understanding what's the correlation between two products I have. So if in case somebody is purchasing milk from me, can I understand which products they're likely to buy apart from the products that they're already buying? So if I'm already purchasing milk, can I look at maybe co-selling bread with that, right? And that's something which really helped as a user experience in itself. So I'm a end user of Country Delight, and if I see some of these things as a suggestion, I personally would want to add that in the regular subscription that I have for Country Delight. So that basically increased the daily active users, which is one of the key metrics that they were looking at. And lastly, I think my favorite example here, which is Domino's. So one of the big problems that I've heard a lot in the engagement spaces with unification of the data in itself. So if I talk about offline and online integration, it's a huge problem that a lot of brands haven't been able to solve. But what Domino's does is that if you've ever purchased from their offline store as well, they ask for a phone number. And they use that information to merge all the data on MoEngage, wherein they bring the online information. If I have purchased, say, Pepi Paneer, or I've purchased Farmhouse, or I've purchased XYZ Pizza offline, tomorrow when you visit the website, you see that very thing on the landing page, right? If you have purchased anything on offline, you've paid, say, 800 rupees on the offline store, they know that you have the capacity to pay that, right? And accordingly, you will receive offers, accordingly, you will receive things on the online side of things. And they've seen around 8% increase in the app orders after they did this exercise. One more thing that they do really well is that they use propensity models to understand when is a user likely to buy. So a user is likely to buy at 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m., on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They know this, and accordingly, they engage and they send the notifications and the messages to the end users, right? So I thought that I'll share some of these examples of how, brands are actually doing the engagement piece right. And the key takeaways would be, one, unification is crucial. You do whatever level of engagement, if the data is not coming in together, you really cannot have the right level of personalization and engagement coming from it. So when you talk about unification, what I mean is the offline data should come to one system. The Shopify integration should work. You should have the data coming in from your CDP platforms. You should have data coming in from your payment systems into one system when you think of engagement, right? So that's one of the most fundamental and basic aspects of engagement. Then the second piece is that you need to focus a lot on the predictive side of things. They focus a lot on insights. I mean, a lot of us focus on, driving insights through the analytics that we have. But we need to move towards what is likely to happen, right? So that's the second piece, which I would say a lot of brands should focus on going forward. And I think I'm out of time, so I'll just quickly skim through the last few slides, right? I mean, I was talking about insights as a key piece, and lastly, everything comes together as a personalized and omni-channel experience across the different channels. So that's something which is or should be the focus for most of the brands out there, right? So broadly, that's what I wanted to discuss. I mean, I'll quickly just skim through the last few slides. And I mean, if in case you've seen things which work for some of these brands or do not, I would want to hear from you. Like, I would want to hear that, okay, this is something that, say, Mamaearth is doing that really works for you. Right? Or if you think that, hey, the Body Shop is doing something which doesn't work for you. Because we're also trying to help these brands when we talk about engagement. So if in case there's any feedback around the engagement piece, if you want suggestions around, hey, how they're doing this, I mean, open to have a chat around, some of the engagement piece that these people are doing, right? So broadly, that's it. I mean, any questions? It was a short, crisp conversation. I wanted to have only 10 minutes. So, but open to questions, open to any doubts that you guys have.
So I think we'll take it offline, if you don't mind.
Sure.
But thank you so much for giving me back some time. And
cool. Thank you, everybody.
That